This bulletin proudly brought to you in association with Alex Campbell's Menswear.
Tonight on The South Today, wild weather closed roads and schools across the south as the first Antarctic blast hit the South Island. The club rooms of a prestigious Dunedin golf club have been destroyed by fire overnight. And an electric unicycle makes it up the world's steepest street. Kia ora, good evening, I'm Sophie Morris. The first major snow event of the 2021 winter closed roads and schools across the south. State Highway 1 into Dunedin was closed until midday, with other roads around the region reopening as the weather dictated.
Wanaka woke to a light covering of snow almost to lake level this morning. Contractors closed the Crown Range Alpine Pass between Cardrona and Arrowtown overnight. The pass was still closed at 11 a.m. The sun rose about 8:30, melting the snow quickly, allowing motorists easy access around town, while the gloom lifted to reveal panoramic scenes of white-topped mountains. Just up the road, Cardrona Village received a thicker blanket of snow. Lake Hayes and Henley's farm near Queenstown resembled winter wonderlands in the early morning light. The New Zealand Transport Agency closed roads around the south, including the Milford Sound Road. It was snowing lightly in Arrowtown off and on during the day, coating cars and making for sludgy driving conditions. Snow began to fall in parts of Dunedin at 3 p.m. yesterday afternoon, with thick flakes landing in Dalmore about 6:30 p.m. Flights were affected at southern airports, but most services from Dunedin and Invercargill were running as scheduled from late morning. Queenstown flights continued to be affected during the day. Snow settled in many suburbs across Dunedin last night, closing or delaying the start for many schools in the city, with schools in the hill suburbs closing for the day. The NZTA says State Highway 87 Kyburn to Outram in Otago was the only road still closed mid-afternoon. The agency recommends drivers watch following distances, slow down, have their lights on and expect ice on bridge decks and shuttered roads. The NZTA says people intending to travel in the morning should check the road conditions online before they head out. Across the regions, The South Today.
The clubhouse at Dunedin's Bellnow's golf course was totally destroyed by a blaze early this morning. Fire crews struggled to extinguish the blaze and conditions made extra slippery by last night's snowfall.
4 Dunedin fire crews fought in strong winds to extinguish the blazing Bellnow's golf course club rooms, which were totally destroyed by fire last night.
Just after midnight, fire crews were dispatched to a building fire here behind us. The first 2 trucks have observed a well-developed fire in the building. They've escalated the job and ordered additional resources in. Another 2 appliances have arrived.
With Dunedin hillsides bedecked with a light fall of snow, crews had to drive carefully along slippery roads to get to the scene, and then struggled to pull their hoses along the snow-covered golf course.
The weather has hampered our operations, not just in the fact that we've had to get here, but also our get to work with slippery conditions underfoot, and just the fact that it's something else to have to contend with as part of the incident response.
It's unusual for empty buildings such as club rooms to catch fire in the middle of the night, and La Nors says fire investigators attended the scene early in the morning and later today.
Obviously we're very interested to work out cause and determination of the fire. At this stage the weather has played its part in hampering that process, but we do hope to find a cause at this stage.
Of the 4 crews that attended, the one from St Kilda remained until later in the morning to dampen down any hot spots. In Dunedin, The South Today.
Police have decided not to charge an Invercargill officer who lost his temper and used unjustified force when dealing with an intoxicated woman. Last July, the officer placed the woman in a headlock and pulled her to the ground after she had been drinking in a liquor ban area. The Independent Police Conduct Authority has found the officer used unprofessional and inappropriate language. He alleged the woman tried to hit him, however CCTV footage did not support his account. Following a recommendation from a national advisory panel, police have decided not to file any charges against the officer. However, he is subject to an ongoing employment investigation. Baldwin Street has proven no match for an electric unicycle after the completion of a successful ascent by a one-wheeled vehicle. An energy company put a representative up for the challenge to see if the powered single-wheel vehicle could tackle the world's steepest street.
You know the old expression, what goes up? Well, in terms of the world's steepest street, it's generally the getting up which is the problem.
Well, it's the steepest street in the world, and it's definitely something that's, if this machine can make Baldwin Street, it can take any other path, and yeah, it's something to try.
This unicycle is about the size of a small suitcase, and the rider stands on platforms mounted either side of the single wheel. Aurora Energy Strategy and Reliability Performance Manager Dennis Pushenko made the attempt on Baldwin Street, gliding up the slope with ease on his machine.
Basically, it's a big battery and motor inside, and it uses gyroscopes and accelerometers to balance you back and forwards, and balancing it by leaning and twisting side by side.
An 8-hour charge gives the unicycle enough juice to travel about 100 kilometres around Dunedin's hilly streets. Pushenko says he's tackling Baldwin Street to prove what can be achieved with electric personal transportation. And he doesn't think it's necessary to own a car in Dunedin.
I thought it would be silly to have a car, because just riding down a hill 4 kilometres and back and moving its old big machine and burning a lot of fuel, it's just kind of stupid.
That said, he doesn't expect to see electric unicycles taking over the streets anytime soon, because he admits they're difficult to learn to ride. However, he believes they'll be part of a larger trend toward electric transportation. In Dunedin, the South Today.
So to come on the South Today, wildlife pests in North Otago go under the gun in the weekend's annual pig hunting competition, and a former competitive horse rider hopes to get back into dressage after a leg amputation. We'll see you after the break.
Every season, we're proud to dress the region. Alex Campbell Menswear, it fits.
A poorly maintained heat pump can lose up to 35% of its output. The Mr. Heat Pump Cleaner team are experts. Their specially developed chemical wash is totally biodegradable. Call Mr. Heat Pump Cleaner and get the job done by the professionals.
Ah, TV, our favourite babysitter. But it can be tough keeping up with what our tamariki are watching. Luckily, the Broadcasting Standards Authority has made some smart changes to the classification labels. Ooh! Plus changes to the time of day certain rated shows will air, and awesome new parental lock features, meaning your babysitter's job is safe. Find out more at safeviewing.co.nz.
All new episodes of Put Some Colour in Your Life are now screening on Channel 39. Take a look at Australian artists and the techniques they use in their studio. Put Some Colour in Your Life. Tuesdays, 7:30.
If you're at risk of developing melanoma skin cancer, you owe it to yourself to have a mole map. Mole map is coming to your area. Phone today to make an appointment. It could save your life.
Hey, what have you got?
Okay. Chicks World, party time, excellent.
Love it! Chicks World! Chicks World! Right.
Welcome back. Beer sections in Queenstown are attracting heat, with a quarter-acre section in Arrowtown selling for $2.25 million. At just over 1,000 square metres in size, the section attracted 19 bids at auction. The site is part of the former Arrowtown Primary School and was owned by a charitable trust. The trust sold a neighbouring empty section last month for $2.3 million. Both sites are zoned for a single dwelling, and the trust is considering selling off a third piece of land that it owns. Wildlife pests in North Otago were under the gun in the weekend's annual pig hunting competition. The competition also has categories for younger hunters who are encouraged to shoot pests such as rabbits, hares and wallabies.
The New Zealand Deer Association's annual North Otago pig hunting competition drew over 100 entries over the weekend. The event is designed to be family friendly and encourage young people to develop a passion for hunting. Organiser Steve Hansen says about a quarter of the entries were youngsters under 14 gunning for game such as rabbits and wallabies, while many adults were stalking wild pigs.
There's lots of prizes for the largest boar, average weight boar, possums, wallaby tails, rabbits, hares, etc.
While the $10 entry fee helps cover the cost of prizes, the event relies on support from local businesses and the goodwill of landowners.
We've also got a lot of sponsors that help us out, and the competition wouldn't run without them. We're very grateful. And also the run holders for letting us to go onto the properties to do a bit of hunting, and we appreciate their input as well.
Organisers say the event is a good way to control pests and enjoy a pastime. Near Oamaru, the South Today.
After almost 2 years of not having full use of her right leg, Southland woman Alina Beer went to Dunedin on Friday to have it amputated. The former competitive horse rider says she's hoping to make a good recovery from the operation and get back performing dressage in the near future.
Former Polytechnic student Alina Beer is one of the few lucky ones to have got through alive after contracting meningitis and septicemia almost 2 years ago, but at considerable cost to her health, especially her right leg.
From the meningitis, septicemia, I lost my spleen. I also have chronic kidney disease from it as well, and I got quite a lot of necrotic skin and tissue, so I had a few toe amputations, and then so I've had 9 surgeries to date, all on my feet. So I've had a few toes amputated, a lot of skin grafts, a skin flap, and a few external fixtures to hold my foot in place. And what else have I had? Oh, and a few clean outs of my right ankle from infections. I've had 2 of them, on different dates.
After 10 surgeries on her feet and right leg, she decided the best thing was to have it amputated below the knee on Friday.
So this time I have decided to amputate my lower right leg, so just below the knee. So from the infections from the meningitis, it's caused arthritis and a lot of damage to the joints inside there, so it's not very functional anymore. There are other options, but in the long run I'd have to amputate anyway, so I've just decided that for me it's just going to be best if I do it now, and then I can move on with my life and, you know, keep going forward. Yeah.
While she's expecting to take 6 months to recover from the surgery, she's planning on resuming her passion of horse riding well before then.
Yeah, a lot of people have said, you know, that I'm quite inspiring, but the way I said is just how I live. Yeah, it's not really any different to me. I just got to keep going. As Mum said, always look at the positives. But yeah, that's just what we do really, yeah.
Formerly a competitive horse rider, Bear says she's planning to try and represent New Zealand in dressage at the 2024 Paralympics in Paris. In Dunedin, the South Today.
After the break on the South Today, demolition at the old Scribes bookshop in North Dunedin is close to restarting, and we check out the weather.
All new episodes of Put Some Colour in Your Life are now screening on Channel 39. Take a look at Australian artists and the techniques they use in their studio. Put Some Colour in Your Life, Tuesdays, 7:30.
A poorly maintained heat pump can lose up to 35% of its output. The Mr. Heat Pump Cleaner team are experts. Their specially developed chemical wash is totally biodegradable. Call Mr. Heat Pump Cleaner and get the job done by the professionals.
If you're at risk of developing melanoma skin cancer, you owe it to yourself to have a mole map. Mole map is coming to your area. Phone today to make an appointment. It could save your life.
What have you got?
Okay. Chicks World, Party Town, excellent.
Love it! Chicks World! Chicks World!
MTF Finance can help you turn the key on your next vehicle with a loan made just for you. TCs and lending criteria apply.
Every reason, every season, we're proud to dress the region. Alex Campbell Menswear, it fits.
Welcome back. Demolition at the old Scribes bookshop in North Dunedin is close to restarting. Demolition was halted in April because the development company didn't have a building consent. Since then, a consent for demolition has been granted and archaeological authority has been obtained. The developer plans to construct a building housing commercial premises plus 10 accommodation units and a communal rooftop garden. And now recapping tonight's top stories on the South today. Wild weather closed roads and schools across the South as the first Antarctic blast hit the South Island, dropping snow across many centres. The club rooms of a prestigious Dunedin golf club have been destroyed by fire overnight, which was fought in tricky conditions. And an electric unicycle makes it up the world's steepest street, with its rider saying electric transport is the way of the future. And now for a look at what's happening in tomorrow's ODT. Welcome, Craig.
Good evening.
Good evening.
We got more on the Bellnails Golf Club fire as well. Of course, Stephen Jacker, our illustrations editor, out running around at the early hours of the morning, which he's always happy to remind us about. So we've talked to the club president, Christopher Bruce. Yeah, lots of memorabilia in the club that's gone up in smoke. Lots of photos, trophies, those sorts of things, dating back to 100 years. So yeah, naturally pretty upset. Not sure what the future holds for them as well. Looking to hopefully rebuild, but a lot of work to do before that can be done. We've spoken to the firefighters involved as well, and it's a bit early for them to say what the cause of the fire is, but nothing ruled out at this stage. So we also talked to a neighbour who poked their head out to try and see some snow, because it's clearly been snowing at that hour of the night, but got more than they bargained for when a big glow across the paddock. So yeah, pretty spectacular. We've got more on the snow as well, and I guess a few disruptions, but good news for their ski fields in Queenstown and Wanaka. They're pretty excited. We've talked to them. They've had that disappointment with the travel bubble to Australia as well, and it's supposed to be Australian school holidays at the moment, but New Zealand holidays a couple of weeks away, so they're hoping to gear up and have everything in ship shape for then. So fingers crossed, they deserve a bit of luck.
They do.
On the sporting front, starting to build towards our first All Black test this season, this weekend against Tonga in Auckland. We talked to Chiefs loose forward Luke Jacobson, who's back in the squad. He was named in the 2019 World Cup squad, but never got on the field and went home with concussion. So he's pretty thrilled to be back and hoping to make the most of this opportunity. Plenty of unfinished business for him. And just quickly, look out tomorrow. We've got our fresh winter eating special publication in the paper. It's our quarterly publication. Plenty of inspiration for those winter nights when you're looking to have a decent feed.
Lovely.
Thank you.
All right, thank you, Craig. And now for a look at the weather.
Tonight's weather proudly brought to you by Mole Map.
Starting with the southern view, snow. Looking at the situation, some more cloud and showers about the Otago coast tomorrow, but the clearing weather inland will lead to the first of a series of heavy frosts tomorrow night. Starting at the northwest of the South Island, sunshine here with 12 degrees in Greymouth and Westport. To the northeast, sunny here as well with 13 degrees in Nelson and Blenheim. In Canterbury, Kaikoura is set for scattered showers and 12 degrees, while Christchurch and Ashburton can expect partial cloud and 11. To the southern towns, moderate southwesterlies, showers clearing for the region with 9 degrees in the Catlins and 8 degrees in Balclutha, Lumsden and Gore. To the Central Lakes area, light southerlies and fine conditions for most areas with 7 degrees in Wanaka and Queenstown and 8 in Alexandra. Te Anau can expect moderate southwesterlies, cloud clearing and 8 degrees. The northern towns on the coast, decreasing southwesterlies, mostly cloudy and 9 degrees in Timaru and Oamaru. Inland, light southerlies, fine conditions and 8 degrees in Twizel and Amarama. In Dunedin, sleety showers tonight changing to rain with gusty southwesterlies and a low of 6. Cloudy with rain showers at times tomorrow, but dry periods too. Cold with fresh gusty southwesterlies, a high of 8 and a low of 3. Fine and sunny on Thursday, rather cold with light variable winds. Frosty Thursday night, a high of 10 and a low of -3. And in Invercargill, showers clearing tonight but remaining cloudy and breezy with a low of 4. Fine tomorrow with sunny periods increasing during the day and cold southwest winds easing. Frosty tomorrow night, a high of 9 and a low of 0. Fine and sunny on Thursday with light southwesterlies. Heavy frost Thursday night, a high of 10 and a low of -5. That's all for our news this Tuesday. For the latest news from the southern region, head online to odt.co.nz or follow Channel 39 on Facebook and YouTube. Thanks for joining us. Ka kite anō.
This bulletin proudly brought to you in association with Alex Campbell's Menswear.
Supporting local content so you can see more of New Zealand on air.